Hi again. This is Patty Robron, back again with Jerry Atkin and Michaela McCormick for another episode of Speaking Truth to Goodness. Today, we challenge ourselves to envision a society that transcends the limitations of our current economic system, exploring alternatives that prioritize well-being, equity, and mutual support. As we discuss the potential of mutual aid, technology, and cooperative models to redefine our communities, we aim to inspire a sense of hope and possibility for what our society could become. Here it is.
So, how do we recreate that? I have no idea.
I have a thought.
Oh, good.
To build up mutual aid systems, right? So capitalism is built on everybody's independent of each other. Everybody just buys what they need. And mutual aid kind of gives that the finger and says, well, guess what? There's a whole bunch of us. We have enough among us. We have the ability to help each other among us. I mean, that can be something as simple as families that group themselves up for rotating date night. A system's in place where a group of people, maybe 4 couples, trade it around. Well, then every month you get to go out with your sweetie, and every 4th month you're watching a whole gaggle of children for a while. But you do that once, and you get to go out 3 times. And that's obviously like the most middle-class white person version
Self-interest
of it. Yeah. But I don't see why that sort of thing can't happen in all the other ways to deaden the sound that racism has made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what I like about that is, one, the building of that community, that mutual aid practice, it does not depend on what we have been sold in terms of our whiteness or capitalism. That it identifies a need that goes beyond both of those, the need to nurture intimate relationships.
Oh, good.
And the need to take care of children collectively, at least part of the time.
Yeah.
And so it may seem kind of an innocent activity to begin with, but it begins to build the kind of connection and community that our whiteness and capitalism have stolen from us over the last several decades.
Totally. Well, you could even draw a comparison to how the Amish work together. They do a barn raising, right? So that's a mutual aid of its own. The whole community shows up at one family farm, and they'll put a barn up in a weekend. And so somewhere between those things, we could help each other with, clothing repairs and product repairs, or, maybe someone that is pretty good at stopping a leaky sink, right? I mean, these are the things that I think about when ideas around technology and making it more human. Those are the things that I like to think about, is the notion of, well, hey, we have all these apps that are pretty great at getting someone who has a car to go pick up someone who doesn't. Yeah, hi, that could do the same thing in any number of ways that we can help each other out. Now, granted, Lyft and Uber and all that has a money component, and there's, gasoline involved in all that, so maybe that makes sense. But not everything would have to involve money, and I don't think everyone thinks it does. Am I wrong? Like, have I just lived in circles where people will help each other out with, like, fixing a car or something? Like, is there parts of America where they don't, where they're like, everyone just has to go and give hundreds of dollars to the local place?
We've been like sheep herded in that direction.
Yeah.
But again, the depression, the breakdown of communities, because people went to California to work. They went wherever there were jobs. So the communities that had been intact for a long time kids leaving, but I mean the need to get out probably was felt less intensely back in the 30s and even the 40s. People helped each other. Now, there aren't intact communities, and a lot there were ethnic communities, but there are also working class communities. And working class people, I think Karl Marx said that your consciousness comes from your relationship to the means of production. Karl was right. So if you work together with people and you have to rely on each other to do what you need to do, that practice is built in and then spills out into the community. That's my understanding is that doesn't happen in the same way anymore. So you need Birch.
Yeah.
So Birch is a place where people can come and get food. So people there's an excess of food as big as a warehouse apparently. Commercial entities bring, and then people come in and take what they need. Now it's Ingalls, from each according to their ability, to each according to their need. So you need a way of facilitating those transactions. Mm-hmm. Neighborhood centers, which may or may not still exist. But first of all, communities of color don't exist anymore. I mean, gentrification has broken the brilliant African-American community that existed where the Coliseum and the freeway now reign supreme. So it's difficult to find the communities. The churches apparently are the one place that still bring people from different parts together. And they have, I'm sure, a self-help, mutual aid agenda. It just needs to be expanded beyond churches. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to do that. But what I know, I ran a neighborhood center, so I've got some understanding of how that works. I just don't know how to plug that knowledge back in. Mm-hmm. But it seems to me there needs to be a place to organize the exchange. It can't just be people finding each other and doing it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There needs to be a sort of metaphorical bulletin board. Done these things.
But that's where technology can allow our bulletin board to not be at the coffee shop on the block. It can be online, and there are a good number of things that we can do to help
Absolutely.
each other where we don't have to live down the street, and we can still help.
Fine, Patty.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Your technological superiority for a techno dinosaur. It's my house. I don't have to let you come back. But I will. Always.
Uh-huh. I'm still somewhat of a skeptic about how digital technology can build community. And I essentially stopped doing social media 2 or 3 years ago. Yet I know that in very crucial moments in many places around the world, it has been absolutely pivotal to bringing people together. But my concern in what you're suggesting, Patty, is that if the neighborhood center is online, how does that make use of the very personal alchemical connections that happen when we are in each other's presence, which is so necessary for building true community?
So I'm going to push back a little bit. I share those feelings to a large extent, but as I have these younger humans that I care for in my life, and I'm more connected in technological things right now, a little bit, I have been trying to watch it and how people use social media for that exact reason that you're saying. Because there was a time, and even somewhat still, I think because of my age, where it didn't really make sense to me. And still, I have had friends who were even just 2 years younger than me, and technologically it makes sense that the transition was that quick, who find that for them, they have built up really deep connections with people, and it's people they've never met. And I know that it seems foreign to me too, to an extent, but but this is what they're telling me, right? That they are sharing that they feel these deep connections with these people. And I think it's because it's like a different layer of relationship building, right? I don't think that the need for a local community will go away, but I think the needs being met for each other by the local community maybe look different than the needs being met for each other through an online community, right? So locally, we're more likely to borrow a cup of sugar or a table saw, give a hug. I mean, obviously the emotional piece is locally dealt with too, but I think what you can find online is potentially find people who have experienced and are healing from similar traumas. You can find people who really dig that band that's super obscure and connect over that. Things like Discord are a place where there's hyper niche communities where they're focused on one particular interest. And so it's this idea where you can, you have the relationships that are the everyday support, but then for some of these more obscure things that bring us our little pieces of joy in our heart, we go to the online communities. For myself, I can't read your face yet, Michaela. I don't know you well enough. You're looking skeptical at me, but that's okay. Maybe you're not feeling it, but I'm receiving skepticism. That's okay. For me, that is Reddit. And on Reddit, I mean, honestly, it's regular people having good advice on Reddit all over the place. But for me, I love to go to the corn snake subreddit because not everyone in my local community wants to hear about as much stuff as I want to share and understand about corn snakes. But let me tell you, those weirdos on the corn snake subreddit, they do. And I love it when everyone shows their snakes and talks about the new thing they got in their snake's enclosure. See, it's silly, but this is a part of being human,
Patty has a corn snake. It's 5 feet long and shy when it's shedding.
Yes.
And is going to build a palace as it grows, a popcorn palace, because that's the name of the corn snake. I just wanted to give you some context for those last unintelligible comments about snakes.
If your skin got really tight right before it peeled off, you'd hide too.
So you accurately read my skepticism, because I was asking myself as you were talking, how do you build the kind of relationship online in the absence of an in the flesh relationship with someone that you would trust taking care of your children?
Good point. Yeah, I mean, that is an interesting question because I don't see that necessarily. But that's where I think the local layer is the piece that fills in. Right? Because I'm not suggesting the local layer goes away. I mean, COVID's not that bad, right? I'm suggesting that the local layers stay for the things that need to be local. And that would be one of them, except there is a website, actually, care.com, I think, where people can go on there and look for nannies, babysitters, etc. And so we've found a way to do it. But also, you're totally right in your skepticism, honestly, because that is kind of a sad commentary on us as people that we just don't even connect with enough people in our community to know someone to be a babysitter. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think that your skepticism is wrong in any way. I think those questions are very worth asking as we try to use this medium of the digital world. I mean, it's not going to go away now. And I think that was maybe where I decided I'm going to look for what can work out of it because it isn't going away.
Yeah.
You know, and I've found that there are good things. Like there are things I can point to, right? But I would also say the same thing about Amazon. You know, I think there is some really great things that got figured out by building that business model. Is there shitty things like employees that need bathroom breaks and stuff? Yes. Yes. But why would we want to throw away the amazing organization and promptness and whatever of that when we can keep the good stuff and keep revising the shitty stuff? I don't know. This is a new thing for me to think about. To instead of thinking about just blowing it all up and starting over, which is what my original default was. So, this is my new way of trying to see what good is going on, even when it feels like crap.
Okay, so here's what strikes me. I hang out enough with your kids to understand it's a new world. How they process information is completely different than how we process information. Everything is quick. Everything is a blurt of information, and then on to the next blurt of information. And they seem to be able to take it all in and sort it out. I can't.
Yeah,
I'm not
yes.
sure they can. I mean, with the increased
something may be
rate
left
of mental
out.
illness among young
Okay,
people.
that was the next thing. It's like, so where we have to intervene is the fact that 40% of young people say they have no close friends in the flesh. So what I'm saying, Michaela, is there's a new reality out there that we have to adapt to. We may not like the reality. I'm learning to appreciate it in a certain way. Yes, yes, Rebecca? Where did that come from?
Robron? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Patty, what?
Well, I mean, here's where I want to recognize that we can't pin everything that's going wrong on the technology when the technology was built on a system of capitalism, right? Because if we look at, well, why don't kids have friends? Well, maybe it's because they get put in a school system where it's a bell ringing every 45 minutes, spot to spot to spot to spot, and don't talk to anyone. You're not here to socialize. And then you go to your after school things until you're so tired you just crash into bed at night. Kids aren't free anymore. They're not running around in the streets meeting neighbor kids. I mean, sometimes, you know, that's better too.
Yeah.
But right, like there are other conditions that we have created through our best intentions. I do believe that are setting these kids up to be in a place where that's kind of what they've got. I don't know. I'm okay. You know what? I really struggle when I can tell someone's not just like on board with things I'm saying. And I know that's about me. So this is good. Keep like talking about the things that you're like, but I don't think so. Because I should be able to think about that too.
Well, my skepticism about digital technology has to do with it. The driving forces behind it are efficiency and profit.
And what if it wasn't, Michaela? What if the people owned the technology? What if the people had full transparency into the data that it's built on?
I like that.
What if we could use it for good? And this is me with the, you know, do Amazon, but make it better for the people. Same thing with tech.
Yeah, my brother thought he could do that with capitalism. That didn't go well.
Well,
I'm sorry, that's a very personal thing. It's just like, no, I can make capitalism work for the people. And his example was, we're going to build a new prison for immigrants in West Oakland, and there'll be lots of jobs. So you're going to hire black people to imprison brown people. Yeah, but it's a lot better than the place they're incarcerated now. Like, you are my brother, you are my brother, you are my brother.
Yeah.
And he meant it. He really wasn't out for profit and gain. He was a game player. He was a gamer. If he was alive now, he would be, you know, using these consoles. And so he was always trying to game the system. Success rate was moderate. But, you know,
I think we're well beyond gaming the system.
Yeah. Well, that's hopelessness, when everything is a game and you think you can manipulate the game in a good way. Yeah.
Whoa. I never thought about that as hopelessness. Right, because you've lost human authenticity at that point.
So, where I think I can connect with you around technology, Patty, is that it isn't the technology per se that is the danger or the threat. It's what we have chosen to do with it, what we've chosen to have it serve, and it serves capitalism.
Yep.
It doesn't really...
Late stage capitalism. Late stage capitalism.
It makes it... And it uses its users, like the children on social media, as tools for the profit-making machine.
In fact, my husband, who is a techie person, says, if you're not paying for the service, you are the service.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally spot on.
Yep.
Right.
Which is why it needs to not be owned by corporations and government agencies, but in fact, put the means of technical production in the hands of the people.
Yeah.
And there is such things as open source technology.
Yeah.
Right? There's quite a lot out there that is open source. So another world is possible.
But for some reason, it's not as attractive as those sites that get people's ire raised because it's stimulating.
Yes. That is another great point, and a thing that I know will come up from me as we go through this is the manipulation of our hormones by way of media in general. Mm-hmm. And I think it's very well understood how reactive we are and what we trigger on. And it's exploited heavily. Yeah. Another good reason to put it in the hands of the people. I have no idea what that would be, how that would look. I mean, maybe it could start with like a citizens council. Although I guess with how that went for police oversight in Portland, we're not sure how far we'll get. But,
Yeah.
keep sounding the alarm.
That kind of thing it can be effective if it comes truly from the ground up and not from the people currently in authority.
Yes.
The police and the city council had too much control of that process of developing some kind of police accountability.
Yeah.
It had to be handed over and kept in the hands of the people at the community level, the ones who were experiencing how police treat us.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep.
It's true. Well, and I mean, the tech piece is going to be an interesting path forward because it does, I think it is purported to be all out of our hands where it's all controlled at the cloud level or whatever. But I kind of think the way technology's going, there's going to be more abilities for us to get our fingers into the pie a little bit as that goes forward. I don't know if it relates, but thinking of things like a 3D printer now, right? So there was a time when to get plastic things made, it had to be this whole process of working with a factory and making molds and all of that. Well, guess what? Now you have a $300 machine in your house that can just do up a little plastic part, and so if that portends anything for other technologies, we may be able to see that these technologies will come to us in household size packages. And it doesn't mean we can for sure make happen what we want to have happen, but it gives me some hope that we may have our hands on the levers a little bit more if we push for it.
But even a $300 expense is out of the reach of the most marginalized people.
That's an excellent point, which brings up mutual aid again. Because, while we're experiencing the wealth inequality still, it could make sense that a community is built out of people who are across the spectrum of wealth. And then the ones with, that takes some very evolved, wealthy people, I realize, though. Yeah. So, I mean, we haven't quite solved all the world's problems yet today.
Darn.
And it's almost dark. Why is it almost dark now?
Because this is the longest day of the year.
Shortest.
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 You said longest.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I meant shortest.
You did, and you were right. It is. So are we done?
Well,
Is this
I mean,
pancake turned?
but I'm proud of us. I feel like today was a good one.
Yeah.
It's all
me
just
too.
talking, right? But like we really found out some stuff because our honing in on that younger generation was kind of big.
And also the relationship of white people to BIPOC folks.
Yep, that's important.
It's so difficult. I mean, I just think people are so indoctrinated that it's like, so Paulo Freire, which I actually knew a little bit, he said ideology is like having cotton wool on your eyes and you're looking at the world through the cotton wool. It's like, so white people have been dominant for so long they don't even recognize it because there are class differences. It's not like there's a, all white people are created equal. Not true either. But the ability to do the level of thinking about it that we have done out of our life experiences is extremely difficult, and it would be wrong to assume that people are going to anytime soon have the subtlety, however much for beginners, we still have, compared to the general society, a sophisticated understanding of this dynamic.
Yeah.
And that's people who've been thinking about it and caring about it for a long time. So for real change to happen, that ability to understand what you don't understand and why that's important is going to be hard to become by completely possible. I don't mean by any means just because it's difficult. I just have a deep faith that it may take a lot of effort, that there's clearly goodness. People are born with goodness. We're born, Sinead O'Connor says, all babies are born singing God's name over and over again, right? I think she might be right. And capitalism is very good at denying that innate creative capacity of small beings that instead of being encouraged is crushed.
Yeah.
I hate schools. Even when they mean well, I hate them.
And they do mean well. I've had to teach myself that one.
You what?
They do mean well. I've had to teach myself that.
No, I don't doubt that. But their understanding and their limitation, that's a whole other podcast. I'm not talking anymore. I'm done.
It's the capitalism and selling textbooks and testing materials.
Oh, please.
Sorry.
Oh,
it is.
please. Yeah. So cynical.
It's always the industry. Yeah.
So
Yep.
cynical,
When it
but
comes to
it's about
capitalism,
learning.
yes.
It's about giving kids the best information available.
Isn't it funny how they don't teach you how to pay your taxes or how mortgages work?
My nose is getting longer as I continue to lie about this. No, and it's like it is tragic because I don't think. I mean, I believe people are inherently good. So I mean that for starters, but I think people in school do mean well, and yet how education has been shaped means that means stay in your lane.
Yes, it does.
Stay in your lane. This class, we're doing math here. We're doing history here. We're doing what, and that those things are related is an unallowable concept.
Life does
How do they
not
fit together?
exist in subjects. Oh, life does not exist in subjects.
So my granddaughter is in a college that has no majors. You design your own major.
That sounds like a good time.
No departments, just a resource of professors.
I would like to imagine a world in which we don't have schools, but we have places of creating, places of curiosity, and those places would be more free form, with learned people sharing what they know, with resources available to learn all kinds of things, multi-age, multi-gender, multiracial, everybody coming together.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine like a group of people who are various ages, races, etc., and they get together and they build a fucking go-kart? Oh, it'd be so cool.
Yeah, it'd be so
I have
cool.
dreams.
And then they strap old people to the go-karts and send them down the Yeah.
Well, I feel inspired, and we did it today.
We always are. I mean, we inspire each other. Potentially, I could inspire other people. I don't know. We'll find out.
Now I've got to go take all my inspiration and go edit some podcasts so we can put it out and speak to other white people. How about that?
Good point. God, what a complicated issue. Race is such a complicated issue.
Aren't you just a
How
little
you
mad?
feel it?
I'm a little mad
Yeah?
at our ancestors.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah. I mean, they were
they were
stuck in their time,
manipulated.
too.
I mean,
Yep.
you go back to the robber barons 100 and some years ago. By that time, capitalism was entrenched in trying to control how people thought, how people behaved,
Yeah.
what pleasures were accessible. I can see, just like I think alcohol had a negative effect on indigenous communities, absolutely. It did on white communities, too. It also kept them manipulable. I made up a word and put 2 extra syllables. We've been manipulated.
Yep.
And as marketing has gotten more scientific, we're manipulated in subtle ways that people don't recognize, and then suddenly, it's just, capitalism is evil. Were you aware of that? It's just evil. God, it's like somebody had a terrible idea, it took a hold, and it was like, nah.
Well, it was in part liberatory at the time, because what it did was it moved people from a feudal system in which there were a few select people with all the wealth to a system where there was a spreading out of opportunity, and certainly not to everybody, but more people.
Yeah. That's a really
I think
good point.
capitalism made sense. What happened was when it turned corrupt. I wish Karl Marx hadn't died. Why?
A lot more people would have been listening to him if he had become immortal.
But see, the thing about Marx is he would never look back 100 years to a book he wrote and say, that's how we're going to make. He was a social scientist.
Mm-hmm.
He was looking at the world and describing it.
Right.
And the world changed, and people just kept reading Marx. And
right.
I feel bad for him. I feel bad for Jesus. I feel bad for a lot of people. Seemed like a good idea at the time, and then it just got corrupted.
Well, it didn't evolve. People sort of said, well, this is what he said, and we can't go beyond that if we want to try to follow his model.
When we have no idea what he said. Anyway, yeah.
We get very stuck in being purists about our favorite ideology, too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And maybe that's something we can learn to be a little messier about. Well,
Would that be messianic? Is that what that word means?
no way.
That's what that word means. Be more messy.
Yes, I'm sure that's what it means, Jerry.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. As we wrap up this week's session, it feels like we've only scratched the surface of what's possible when we come together to reimagine and reshape our society. Jerry, Michaela, and I are grateful for the opportunity to explore these ideas with you, our listeners, and we're invigorated by the potential for collective action to create lasting change. As we move forward, let's keep these discussions alive in our communities, workplaces, and networks Let's commit to being agents of change, embodying the principles of care, cooperation, and mutual aid in all we do. Feel free to leave comments on Spotify, and please look for us on Instagram. I'm Patty Robron, and my co-hosts have been Michaela McCormick and Jerry Atkin. Until next time, keep speaking truth to goodness, because goodness is all around.